Hello, Donna here, and I am talking a little bit on the quiet side because, again, it is very late at night, and I'm sorry I keep doing all these at night. I really haven't had any privacy lately during the day, so I prefer to do my videos when it's quiet, when there's no one here, when I don't have to be interrupted, you know. So this video is going to be an update for my Book of Shadows. Now, I haven't really gotten that far, but I wanted to show you some things that I have come up with. And first are plans that I have for my Book of Shadows, such as this. Each page I have mapped out exactly where the border will go and where the title will go. And this is on both sides. And I've decided to do my pages with a 3-hole punch and put them directly into the binder that way instead of doing a protective page over it. Mainly because I don't have enough protective pages to do it the other way around, and also at some point I would like to punch several more holes right here and actually bind the pages together to make a book. But I don't have enough experience with that right now, and I don't have enough money to actually go out and buy the supplies. So for now, a 3-ring binder is what I'm doing, and once I'm established and know what's going to go in there, what I need, what I use, then I'll think about actually putting the pages and making them into a formal book with like a leather-bound exterior and a little latch to hold it all together and all that pretty stuff. So this one is actually a new outline. It is not the same one as I had before. So the ones I had before had were these. They had a larger area. No real. I mean, this was just a general area for the border to go, but I found that I didn't want to leave so much room for border, and I wanted more room to write things out, add pictures and little comments and little tags. That's another thing. I really got inspired by Sue Reese's video, I think that I said her name right, where she talked and showed examples of her scrapbook of shadows, and I really loved it. I loved it so much, but I don't really have any supplies for that. And I also wanted to keep my Book of Shadows more towards a medieval theme, so what I think I'm going to do is take in elements, for example pockets, which would be disguised as clever little doodles and pictures on pages, I think, and then I'll be able to put in removable information and everything that's not removable, such as background information, that, you know, things that wouldn't change over time, like the history of the use of an athame, for example. That would go on the main part. And I also think that I will design certain things and then paste them on, but always have the layout more reminiscent of a medieval or Victorian type of book. And that also includes staining pages, because I have white paper, I don't have parchment paper, and I don't want to spend the money for parchment paper when I have hundreds of sheets of white. So I'll probably be staining the paper with different teas, experimenting with the colors and the outcomes, and maybe using a little bit of lemon juice around the edges and my hair dryer to make it a little bit more dark and more old looking, and to give it thicker texture that I'm really looking for. But I'm still using this. However, I found that these were just a tad bit too hard to read. Very pretty. I do plan on using them for formal pages, you know, for sections. For example, the page where it says a Book of Shadows, that will be, I will be using the lowercase of these, and then I will put my magical name in uppercase and lowercase in the bottom. You know, sort of like a property by type of thing. And these, I'm not sure if I'll be using these or not. I actually came up with a couple of different styles that I have been debating on using. Such as these I colored in, so you may not be able to see them very well. I was experimenting with different colors and shades and deciding whether or not to use marker. And this is a full alphabet, and these are just the beginning of 2 different ones I was thinking about incorporating and using instead. And I also did a more relaxed version of the fancy script that is more legible on these three, which are very, very basic. So I will probably use a little bit of everything. I may do a different font for each section. I don't know yet. It just depends on how things goes. It's still all up in the air. But yeah. So I showed you some border ideas that I had before, and these haven't changed exactly, but I have been thinking about maybe doing something more freehand, something more similar to this, or just be curly cues with leaves and flowers and things like that coming off of it, and it's very hard to read. It's in pencil. But over here would be different images that I would use. But again, that's not set in stone. One of the things that I did do a lot of research after I saw the Scrapbook of Shadows by Subarisi was actually doing some research on layouts that I actually liked. And I came up with this. Ooh, you can't really see it. But these are all layouts that I liked, mainly from scrapbook.com. And there's 2 pages of them. And I don't think I'd be able to use all of them. There are probably only a few basic ones I would actually be able to incorporate. But these were what I liked, and I think I'll be designing some custom pages based off of these basic layouts. There's also some stuff that I made to put in the Book of Shadows that I'm not going to show you, because that is not... Well, screw it. Okay, I was thinking about getting some clay and making stuff, so I made a few sketches of some things right here, and it's all in pencil so you can't see it, and basically it's just a custom incense pot out of clay, offering bowl, a pentacle, a couple candle holders, maybe a little decorative clay piece to put like a headband that has the symbol of the goddess on it, and a shrine, which I saw this on several pagan sites, and I've always wanted one, but they were always really expensive. And basically it's just like a tomb, like an oval tomb type shape with a flat piece that you can put a candle on, and it's decorated in symbols and images of the chosen god or goddess that you're worshiping. And I would probably make one for a basic one for the goddess, a basic one for the god, and then make a custom one for any god or goddess I decide to incorporate into ritual from then on. I was also making a standard reference for the Wheel of the Year, and this is what I came up with, but it's not right yet. I don't know, the center image is not quite right, and I don't think I'm going to include the Celtic trees on it. I think I'll just include the basic 8 Sabbats and the sun signs and the spring and element association with those. And I also, in a perfect world, I would be able to put it on a carousel and be able to add the moon phase that you can move manually as I go around. And then I would be able to move, like, say it's Ostara, so then I would be able to move this, and Ostara would be like right at the top. But I don't have the know-how for that quite yet. And I want to show you something I've been working on. This is the cover page for my Book of Shadows. All done by hand, no tracing. So it's really hard to see on the bottom over here. But basically it's just freehand leaves, oak leaves, inspired a lot, almost ripped off from the Charmed Book of Shadows. I really love the style used in there, and I'm probably going to steal a couple ideas and inspirations from that book along the way as well. And here's something that I wanted to show you. It is not yet in my big black book because the pages are not finished. So for now, it's in this, and it's actually too thick to put through the little 3-ring prongs. So it's just sitting in there. And in here, I just have a basic outline of what I want. Let me see if I can't. Yeah, and the lighting is so bad, and it's in pencil, so you can't really see it. But basically, so I think that's a bust, unfortunately. But basically, this is what it looks like. each page has just a rectangular piece that have a title, so I know what's going to go there. And for pages that's going to expand like a mini section or an entire section, for example, basic correspondences, I have a tab on everything that I want to include there. Not so much, I do plan on having like an index, a main index and a mini index for things like this that it get expanded on, but it's mainly for my own purposes to make sure I include that information as I add it into the Book of Shadows, and whenever I'm done, I don't know, maybe I'll exit out, take it off, rearrange it, I don't know. But all of these little tabs, they're just rectangular pieces of paper that I've cut out, and then I've taken a bit of tape and rolled it, and that's how it's sticking on there. And that's the entire thing over here. The entire little section is all like that, and it's all divided up into sections, but I ran out of dividers, so it's all, yeah. So you have your basic reference material such as planetary alignments, moon phases, herbs, tools, and then you go into the next section which deals with gods, goddesses, spirits, and any kind of magical being, and things like familiars as well, you know, nature spirits, all those sorts of things, spirit guides, they're all in that section looped together with the gods and goddesses being in the front and everything else working its way to the back. And then the section after that is dedicated to rituals and the Sabbats. You know, how to do a ritual, how to cast a circle, how to meditate, Wheel of the Year. It's all like the very, very basic stuff that you would incorporate and use in circle in a ritual. And then behind that is basically everything else. I have an entire section dedicated to just divination because I didn't realize it before, but I use a lot of divination. I really didn't realize it. I want to buy a pendulum. I don't have one yet, but I have been, in the cases where I really need a yes or no question, I have used this ring, which I never take off. This is the longest I've ever had it off. It always goes on my ring finger, and I don't know, maybe that's bad luck or something, but it was, when I put it on, I knew it was for this finger. It was weird. Silver with mother of pearl, oval, little knot design on the side. I love it. I keep it on me. It reminds me to be true to myself and just to act honestly, faithfully. There you go. And it also reminds me that I don't necessarily need someone else to keep me happy, and that was a really big reason of it. And finally, this is something that I have been working on. I have trouble memorizing my my tarot cards, but I don't have multiple decks, and I can't imagine getting another deck because I'm so connected and so used to this one. It just doesn't feel right. I mean, I know it takes time to forge that bond, but I really don't want to go out and buy another one. So what I decided to do was make what I call a working deck. So basically, I'm just drawing out images from my deck, and these are really hard to read, sorry about that. And I will paste this on cardstock, and on the other side there'll be a square, like a blank square. Here we go. And the blank square will contain the information about any associations, affiliations, and the meaning of the card, so that in the case I am teaching someone how to read tarot, or I'm just doing a quick reference for myself, I have these cards I can take out and look at rather than fishing out that booklet that came with my tarot cards. So yeah, and those are not finished. I didn't do them in order either. I just did whichever ones I came across in my deck first. I only have about 6 of them done out of the major arcana, and that's it. Nothing else. So I'm a long ways from finished. That will be a very long project, and it's not something that's in the forefront of my mind right now. I'm trying to focus on my Book of Shadows, but for the time being, that is all I have for the tarot. But I did go out and make some pendulum charts. See? I have a bunch of them. I scoured Google and got a whole bunch of them online. And here's one the chakras and zodiac. Why did I make them like this? Well, one of the directions for this probably would be most helpful in finding lost things or locating people, or but why do I have them like this? Because I want something that I can just take out of my Book of Shadows and bring it with me as a reference point, just like I'm going to make similar ones for tarot card layouts. So I can just, if I don't memorize the layout or haven't yet, I can just take these and bring them with me and put them in my purse. The size may change later, they may become tabs later, but for now this is what they are. And these are not colored in. I may or may not do that. I may or may not actually rewrite these. I might just cut them out and put them on cardstock later when I get cardstock. I don't actually have cardstock, I just have colored paper right now. But yeah, these are what I have, and I'm happy with it. So that is all I have for you when it comes to my Book of Shadows. I know you're expecting a lot more done. I have written up a lot of information, but it is currently on my computer and not actually written into my book yet. I really want to get a basic idea of how I want my book to look, which means doing some tea samples, tea dyeing samples and the lemon samples before I actually make and transfer things into my book. And I also want to decide what is going to be on tabs or tags, which are basically removable pieces with I'll probably put a pocket and then put the tag in there, and that'll be removable information that I can update as I grow and as I go, whereas things that are written on the actual page will most likely be permanent things that will not change, such as background information and history and things like that. So that is all I have for you. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.